Hello, welcome to my video lecture series Object Oriented Programming. This is part 13. This course is mainly designed for ICSE and CBSE, but it is also helpful for university and pre-university courses. Today we will discuss on array. First part is array revision, as we have discussed the topic array thoroughly in my previous lecture. One of my previous lecture. Now we will revise array. Here is a new one variable size 2D array, and then we will discuss 3D array. Now we would like to define array. We have already discussed on array. This time also we will be discussing on array. Now first I would like to say that here in Java the implementation of array is a little bit different as we have implemented in C or C++. Now what is array? If I discuss that, array is an abstract data type, we may say. Number 2, array is a data structure. Number 3, if we define the array, that is, array is a sequence of similar type variable, or it is a contiguous arrangement of similar type variables or similar type elements. This is definition of array. Now I would like to state that an array is a container object that holds a fixed number of values of a single type. The length of the array is established when the array is created. After creation, its length is fixed. Now one illustration of array with 10 boxes numbered through 0 to 9, and as we have seen in C or C++, the first index will start from 0, and then 1, then 2, and so on. Each item in an array is called an element, and each element is accessed by its numerical index. That is, if we want to access the element here, then we have to refer the index 1. Now here numbering begins with 0. We have discussed it. The ninth element, for example, would therefore be accessed at index 8. The ninth element is this one, and it is accessed at index 8. Now this is a new one, we have not been yet described in my previous lecture series, that is a length of the array. How do we find the length of the array? Now we have declared an array, integer typed array, and we have made array equals new int 3, that is the array of 3 integer typed elements. This is new memory allocation operator. Then the length of the array, as we have discussed in my previous slide, that the length is now fixed. After defining array equals new int 3, the length is fixed. Now we can calculate the length of the array, or we may see the length of the array. And how it is? Then the length of the array can be calculated through the function length. Example, array arr dot length. Now we want to access this arr, that is array dot length. If I define another variable integer length, len len equals to arr dot length, then we may use this variable length len len for printing, for calculating others, etc. Here one thing to remember, that do not use length first bracket start and first bracket end. This is another kind of function. This length length, this length function is used to calculate the array of the length of the array, but this length with brackets is used for string operation, for finding the length of the string and etc. This cannot be used to find out the length of the array. Okay. Now creating a 2D array. We have defined already in my previous lecture series that a 2D array, multidimensional array is an array of arrays in Java. Now creating a 2D array, int myArray. Now myArray equals new. This is memory allocation operator, and we have initialized with int 3 4, that is 3 rows 4 columns. Three rows 4 columns. This is a 2D array with rows. This index this is for rows, and this index is for columns. Alternatively, we may use the syntax int myArray equals new int 3 4. This can be also used instead of writing 2-line code. Now another way we may initialize array, that is integer, that is int myArray 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6. Here 2 rows 3 columns. We may use this, or we may use int myArray, and using the third bracket second bracket once again, that second bracket start another second bracket containing 1 2 3 and comma 4 5 6. This type of initialization may be used for 2D array. Now let us give an example. Here we have used the tool BlueJ for using this kind of example. Now we have created that class example length. We have created a class example length. Now we have initialized that integer array. It is an 2-dimensional array. Here we have initialized that 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now we have used two for loops for printing out the array of the element as well as length of the array. Now here array dot length means how many rows it have. It has 3 rows, so the loop will continue 3 times. Now here we have used some different way, that is here arr dot length loop will continue 3 times, as because it has 3 rows. But if we see that arr I dot length, that is arr 0 dot length, how many elements here? Here is 1, 2. Now loop will continue twice, and after that 3, 4 it is for arr dot 1. Then we will find out the length of the each row as well as length of the entire array. That is, length of the array, two-dimensional array, is obviously the length of the obviously how many rows are there. Then we have defined a variable length, then arr dot length, and we have printed that value. After that we have defined another variable for finding the length of the first row. This is for first row, this is for first row, this is for second row, this is for third row. Now let us see the output. Now as usual, first row is here, first element is here, second element is here, this is first row first element, first row second element. Now this is second row first element, second row second element, and now this is third row first element, third row second element. Now as usual we have discussed as length of the array, that is there are 3 rows, 1, 2, 3. Now after that we have used length of the first row. Now length of the first row is 2. There are 2 elements. Length of the second row is also 2. Length of the third row is also 2. Now we have used the length of the array, and we have seen that what is happening for finding length of the array and to print out the elements of the array. Now let us take another example. This is much more interesting. This is also class name example len integer array. It is also two-dimensional array containing the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The program is very much similar with our previous one, that is arr dot length, that is here 3 rows, so the loop will continue up to 3, 1 less than 3, as because I is less than arr dot length, that is continue up to 0, 0, 1 and 2, and then it is arr I dot length, that is length of the first row, length of the first row, then length of the second row, then length of the third row. As we have seen in our previous example, that all rows containing each 2 elements, but here the row 3 contains 3 elements. So let us see how the program will run and give output. This is very much similar as per previous one. We have defined the length of the array. It will obviously produce the output 3, and now length of first row, it will produce the result, it will produce the output 2, here it also 2, and now here the output will be 3. Let us see. Here first element, first row, first column, indexing 0 0, first row, second column, indexing 0 1 2, it's okay, and second row 1 0 1 1, it is also okay, and now third row containing 3 elements 1 2 and 3, 5 6 7 as we have defined. Then length of the array is number of rows, that is 3, it's okay. Now length of the array, first row, how many elements? 2, so it is 2. For second row, how many elements? 3, yes, sorry, 2, 3 and 4, there are 2 elements, so 2 is okay. Now for third 3 elements. This way it is different from my previous example. So example 1 and 2 very much similar, but it is quite different with values. Now one interesting array implementation in Java 2D array, that is we may define Java array as a variable length Java array. What is this? That is variable length 2D array. Here we have seen that column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, and row 1, row 2, row 3. Now it is clearly seen that row 1 contains 3 element, row 2 contains 4 element, row 3 contains single element. This kind of implementation is called variable length 2D array. Usually what we did earlier, that this is already occupied memory in our other programming implementation, but here if we use variable length 2D array, the memory allocation is quite different from others, as well as we may use variable length rows inside Java array. Now let us take an example. We have defined a class multi-array, and now we are creating a variable length array. Integer a is a array with integer type variable, and this is a 2-dimensional array. Now we have initialized that the first row contains 3 element 1 2 3, as we have seen in our previous picture 1 2 3. The second row contains 4 element, the third row contains 1 element. Now as we have discussed the length of the array and seen with previous example, now let us see, let us print length of the row 1, length of the row 2 and length of the row 3 with corresponding array and its index reference, as well as the length function is used. Now the output for first row 3, for second row 4, for third row 1. So let us see, for first row 3, second row 4 and for the last row 1. This is example of variable length 2D array. Now let us discuss another time with another example, that is we have here integer type array. The array name is table, 2-dimensional array, and initialized is with first element, first row first element is 1, second row first element is 2, second row second element is 2, there are no other elements in row 2, and for third row it has 3 elements, first 3, second 3 and third 3. It is looking like this kind of structure. And this is a very much interesting data structure. We would like to discuss that. This is the entire 2-dimensional array, and if I want to find that table dot length, then what it will reply? Row 1, row 2, row 3. Table dot length equal to 3. Now for row 1, that is table with indexing 0, it has what? It has single element, that is 0 0. Please look at, here is indexing is used for single, here indexing used for double, that is 0 0. This is the internal implementation of Java. Anyway, we would like to see, this is single element, and for this is 2, this is 2, that is the row 2 with index 1 have 2 element 1, element 2. Similarly for third row, table used with indexing 2, index 2, that is it has 3 element 1, 2 and 3. This is the internal structure of variable size 2D array. Now if I implement it in a program is very much similar with our previous programs. Class name we have defined that test array 1, public static void main as usual, then int integer array arr equals to second bracket 1 2 2 3 3 3. Now if I want to print this for I equals to 0, and we have discussed that arr dot length, this is the number of rows, arri dot length, that is for each row it will find out the length, and here we are not printing the length but we are printing the elements directly rather. Now the output will look like array 0 0 equal to 1, array 0 0 equal to 1, this is completed with first row, and the array 1 1 0 2 and array 1 1 2, this is completed the second row, and for the third row it has 3 element 3 3 3. Now it has printed. Now the length of the array, it has also printed. The length of the array is 3. Length of the array, first row 1, second 2, third 3. Here there are some codes for printing length, not got printed here. Okay. Now we want to discuss 3-dimensional array. What is 3-dimensional array? We have discussed up to 2-dimensional array, and for general multidimensional array we have discussed that a multidimensional array is an array of arrays. So for 3-dimensional array it has some 2-dimensional arrays, that is, here we have considered 3 say integer a 3 3 3. Now this is, if I say I, if I say j, if I say k, now this is row, this is column, and k is, this is k fold 2-dimensional arrays. That is, if k is 4, there is 4 2-dimensional arrays. For k equals to 4. If k is n, then there are n number of 2-dimensional arrays having number of rows I and number of columns j. Number of rows I, number of columns j. This is the concept of 3-dimensional array. Here we have seen that this is 3-dimensional array with 3 3 3, that is number of rows and number of columns is 3. Here row number 1, row number 2 and row number 3, and column is column number 1 2 3, and how many k's, that is how many here we are seeing that there are 3 2-dimensional arrays, as we have seen here 3, so this is 3 2-dimensional arrays. This is the basic concept of 3-dimensional arrays. Now let us take a program. Here the class we have defined here. Now integer my 3-dimensional array new integer 333. What we have seen in our previous picture, we are using this program to implementation the previous three-dimensional arrays. Now here is I, that is number of rows 3, number of columns 3, and threefold two-dimensional arrays. So we have declared three integer variable I, j, k. Now here I equals to 0, I less than 3, as there are 3 rows. This is for rows, this is for columns, and this k used for how many two-dimensional elements, how many two-dimensional arrays in this three-dimensional array. Now we have initialized the array elements with I plus j plus k, that is the array element will be generated using number of rows plus number of columns plus k value, the third value. Now this is for printing, this is for initialization, this is for initialization, and this is for printing the elements. This is a similar loop. Now system.out.println my array I, j, k. Here is a new line, here is another new line, and this is a separator to separate three two-dimensional arrays. Now let us look at the output. The output will be look like this. What is this? This is a first two-dimensional array, this is second two-dimensional array, this is third two-dimensional array with elements 1, 0, 0, 1, 2. If I see our previous programming structure, that is started with I equal to 0, similarly then j equal to 0, then k equal to 0. So first element is 0 plus 0 plus 0 equals 0, and the for second element I equal to 0, j equal to 1, k equal to j equal to 0, k equal to 1. So it will produce output 1, and for third element j equal to 1, k equal to 1. So after adding, this is 2, and similarly the numbers are generated. This is a simple way to generate elements in 3 dimension or 4 dimension. This is basically used for reducing the time, as if we want to initialize three-dimensional array, that is 27 element, 27 inputs we have to given. So for reducing the time for depicting the program, we have used I plus j plus k. You may use I star j star k for practice, or you may initialize each element differently, or you may use input output function for taking user input for programming. This is as a whole concept of 1-dimensional array, 2-dimensional array, and 3-dimensional array. Now you may read several internet resources and Java Oracle document, and here is a good book for all-purpose Java, that is Java the Complete Reference by Herbert Shield, 11th edition, Oracle Press. Now thank you. I am Supratim Chakraborty. My YouTube channel is Learn with Joy. If it is helpful to you, then like, share and subscribe. Thank you.